Welcome back to our channel Hidden Coins World. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, this quarter is not only a fascinating piece of American numismatic history but also an object of great desire for collectors worldwide, with certain rare conditions giving it an astonishing value that will leave you amazed. So sit back as we journey into the history, symbolism, and value of the 2000 New Hampshire Quarter Dollar. To understand the importance of this coin, let's step back to the origins of the U.S. Mint State Quarters program. Launched in 1999, this program was one of the most ambitious and successful coin initiatives in American history. The idea was simple yet powerful: release 5 new quarter designs each year, each one dedicated to a different state, in the order that those states joined the Union. This gave Americans the opportunity to not only collect coins but also to learn about the rich diversity, culture, and history of their nation. The program lasted from 1999 to 2008, and over those years, it became the most collected coin series in the world, with millions of people eagerly searching through their pocket change hoping to complete their set. The New Hampshire Quarter was part of the second year of this legendary program, making its debut in the year 2000, alongside quarters honoring Massachusetts, Maryland, South Carolina, and Virginia. New Hampshire, known as the Granite State, chose to highlight one of its most enduring and symbolic natural landmarks for its quarter, the Old Man of the Mountain. Carved by nature over thousands of years, the Old Man of the Mountain was a rock formation on Cannon Mountain that, from the right angle, appeared to be the profile of a man's face gazing proudly over the land. It became a symbol of New Hampshire's rugged spirit, independence, and natural beauty. Sadly, in May of 2003, the formation collapsed, a heartbreaking event for residents of the state. But thanks to the quarter, this legendary profile is forever preserved in America's coinage. On the reverse of the coin, you see the detailed engraving of the Old Man of the Mountain, accompanied by the state motto, "Live free or die." These powerful words capture the essence of New Hampshire's identity and history, reflecting the fierce independence of its people and their determination to preserve liberty at all costs. This motto, adopted from a statement by General John Stark, a hero of the American Revolution, has become one of the most striking state mottos in the United States. The coin's design, therefore, is more than just an image. It is a proud declaration of values that date back to the founding of the nation. The front of the coin, of course, continues the familiar design of the Washington Quarter, featuring the portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan, first introduced in 1932. But it is the reverse design of the New Hampshire Quarter that draws collectors in with its story and significance. The 2000 New Hampshire Quarter was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, and proof versions were also struck in San Francisco for collectors. More than 1.1 billion circulation strikes were produced, making it one of the more common quarters from the state quarters program. Yet despite its high mintage, the coin carries a special aura because of its symbolic design and because of the powerful emotions tied to the Old Man of the Mountain, especially after its collapse just 3 years after the coin was issued. Now, while billions of these coins were made for circulation, not all quarters are created equal. The condition of the coin, any minting errors, and certain rare varieties can transform what seems like an ordinary quarter into a collector's treasure worth thousands, or in some cases, millions. Among the New Hampshire quarters, collectors seek out examples with full strikes, pristine surfaces, and high grades certified by professional grading companies. Mint State 67 or higher examples are rare and command impressive prices at auction. Error coins are particularly fascinating in this series. Examples include double strikes, off-center strikes, and quarters struck on the wrong planchets. These mistakes, rare as they are, elevate the coin's value dramatically because they combine the appeal of the state quarter program with the uniqueness of a minting error. The story of the New Hampshire Quarter becomes even more exciting when we look at its collector appeal. While casual collectors might hold on to a single example for sentimental reasons, advanced numismatists prize the coin for its symbolism and for the chance to own a piece of numismatic history connected to the beloved Old Man of the Mountain. Remember, every coin tells a story, and this one tells a story not only of New Hampshire's entry into the Union in 1788 but also of its natural landmarks and its undying devotion to liberty. Over the years, values of state quarters have fluctuated, with most being worth face value in circulation, but rare varieties and pristine examples standing out. And now comes the moment you have been waiting for, the extraordinary value of some of these New Hampshire quarters. While common circulation strikes remain worth 25 cents, certain high-grade examples certified by the top grading companies have sold for thousands at auction. But there exist extremely rare and unique pieces, those struck with extraordinary errors or in unmatched condition, that have fetched jaw-dropping prices. Among collectors, stories of the New Hampshire quarter reaching values as high as $31 million circulate, a reflection of its legendary status among rare finds. While such astronomical values are reserved for the most exceptional and almost mythical examples, they add an air of magic and possibility to this humble piece of change. Imagine holding in your hand a simple quarter, a coin that millions of people spent on snacks, sodas, or bus rides, yet one that, under the right circumstances, could be worth a fortune beyond imagination. That is the allure of coin collecting, the magic that turns everyday pocket change into a gateway to history and treasure. The 2000 New Hampshire Quarter Dollar reminds us that the value of a coin is not just in its metal but in its story, its symbolism, and its place in the hearts of people. Top 2, today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins from the U.S. State Quarters Program, the 2002 Indiana Quarter Dollar. At first glance, it may look like just another quarter you might find in your pocket change, but behind its design lies a powerful story of state pride, American innovation, minting artistry, and, for a lucky few collectors, the potential to own a piece worth an unimaginable fortune. So stay tuned until the very end, because I promise you won't believe the staggering value some of these Indiana quarters have reached. Yes, I'm talking about millions of dollars. Let's set the scene back in time. The year was 1999 when the U.S. Mint launched the State Quarters Program, a bold initiative that would forever change the way Americans saw their pocket change. Before then, quarters were mostly about Washington's portrait on the front and the eagle on the back. Functional, patriotic, but not particularly exciting. The State Quarters Program changed everything. Each year, 5 new quarters were released, each honoring one of the 50 states, in the order they were admitted to the Union. Collectors rushed to find them, kids traded them in schools, families kept them in albums, and suddenly, quarters weren't just coins, they were history lessons and miniature works of art. By 2002, we had already seen some incredible designs: Delaware with Caesar Rodney's famous ride, Pennsylvania's Statue of Commonwealth, and New York with the Statue of Liberty and a state outline. Then came Indiana, which entered the Union back in 1816, making it the 19th state. Its quarter was released on August 2, 2002, and instantly caught the attention of collectors and historians alike. What makes the Indiana quarter so striking is its design. On the reverse, you'll notice an outline of the state of Indiana proudly displayed. Superimposed over it is a race car, an homage to Indiana's world-famous Indianapolis 500, one of the greatest automobile races in history. Surrounding the design are 19 stars, symbolizing Indiana's place as the 19th state to join the Union. Below the design, the year of statehood, 1816, is engraved, a reminder of Indiana's long history as part of the American story. The word Indiana itself is emblazoned at the top, and at the bottom, the words Crossroads of America make a bold statement. That nickname isn't just poetic, it reflects Indiana's central geographic location, a hub for transportation and commerce, where roads, railways, and highways intersect. This is a state known for connecting people, goods, and ideas. The race car at the heart of the coin's design deserves special attention. It symbolizes the Indianapolis 500, an event held annually at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway since 1911. Known as the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indy 500 isn't just a race, it's a tradition, a celebration of speed, engineering, and endurance. Millions of fans flock to Indiana or tune in on their TVs every Memorial Day weekend to witness cars racing at speeds over 200 miles per hour. By placing the race car on the quarter, Indiana didn't just showcase a sport, it highlighted an international cultural phenomenon that has cemented Indiana's place in the hearts of racing fans across the world. The design itself was created through the efforts of both state officials and the U.S. Mint's engravers. Like all state quarters, Indiana's design went through a selection process where citizens could submit ideas. From those, finalists were chosen and voted on. The final version we see today was engraved by Donna Weaver, a talented sculptor-engraver at the U.S. Mint. She captured the essence of Indiana's identity in a way that is simple, bold, and instantly recognizable. Of course, the obverse side of the coin carries the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan in 1932. For the State Quarters program, the obverse was slightly modified by William Cousins to better fit the new designs, but Washington's stern, noble profile remains the same, reminding us of America's enduring legacy. Now let's talk about the minting details, because this is where things start to get really exciting. The Indiana quarter was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, with the P mint mark, Denver, with the D mint mark, and San Francisco, with the S mint mark. Philadelphia and Denver produced the coins meant for everyday circulation, while San Francisco struck proof versions, both in clad copper nickel and in 90% silver. In total, hundreds of millions of Indiana quarters were minted, which means they're not exactly rare if you're just looking for one to add to your collection. But as every collector knows, it's not just about how many were made, it's about condition, errors, and rarity within the rarity. For example, a standard circulated Indiana quarter might only be worth its face value of 25 cents. But a quarter in pristine uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS 67 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Proof coins, especially the silver versions, are also highly collectible, with values depending on their grade and packaging, but here's where things get truly astonishing. Some Indiana quarters have turned out to have minting errors, tiny mistakes that happen during production. These errors might include double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. Such errors can make a coin dramatically more valuable because they're one-of-a-kind anomalies. Imagine finding what looks like a normal Indiana quarter, only to discover it's actually an error coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's the thrill of coin collecting, it's treasure hunting in your own pocket change. Now, let's step into the world of the truly extraordinary. In the coin collecting universe, certain examples of the Indiana quarter have achieved legendary status. We're talking about specimens in flawless condition, struck with exceptional sharpness, preserved without a single blemish, and sometimes possessing rare minting characteristics. These are the kinds of coins that go beyond simple collector interest, they become museum-worthy artifacts, the crown jewels of private collections, the centerpiece of auctions where millionaires compete to own a piece of numismatic history. And yes, believe it or not, there are Indiana quarters that have reached jaw-dropping values. While an ordinary Indiana quarter might only be worth a quarter, and a mint condition proof might fetch a few $100s, there are rare versions of this coin that have commanded staggering sums. The most exceptional examples, those with the perfect combination of grade, rarity, and demand, have reached an almost mythical level. Top 3, the 1993 quarter dollar holds a unique place. At first glance, it may appear to be just another common piece of pocket change, but as with many coins, once you begin peeling back the layers of history, design, and rarity, you discover a world far richer than you ever imagined. The 1993 quarter represents the bridge between the classic Washington quarter design that had been circulating for decades and the new wave of innovation that was about to sweep across American coinage with the introduction of the State Quarters program at the end of the decade. It was minted in the years just before America would embark on one of its most ambitious and successful coinage programs, making 1993 an interesting prelude to a new era. The quarter dollar as a denomination has been part of U.S. currency since 1796, but the Washington quarter specifically was first introduced in 1932, originally as a one-year commemorative coin to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Its popularity, however, was so strong that it replaced the standing Liberty quarter permanently. From 1932 all the way through 1998, the design remained largely the same, George Washington's bust on the obverse, and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. By 1993, this design was deeply ingrained in American life, a coin everyone knew by sight and touch, exchanged millions of times a day in markets, stores, schools, and gas stations. To most people it was just a coin, but to collectors, each year and mint mark told a different story. Each piece carried subtle variations and potential hidden gems. The 1993 quarter was minted at 3 primary locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins struck at Philadelphia bear no mint mark, those from Denver carry the D mint mark, and the San Francisco issues carry the Des mark, reserved for proofs and collector sets. Philadelphia and Denver quarters were struck in huge numbers, running into hundreds of millions, which makes circulation strikes fairly common today. But within those millions, conditions vary dramatically. A coin pulled straight from a mint roll and preserved carefully could achieve an uncirculated grade, while another that passed through the hands of thousands would show the wear and tear of everyday life. San Francisco proof coins, on the other hand, were struck with special dies on polished planchets, producing mirror-like finishes and frosted designs, a favorite among collectors who valued beauty as much as history. When you hold a 1993 quarter, the obverse presents a proud and dignified portrait of George Washington. His profile, with stern yet steady eyes and a strong jawline, symbolizes the leadership that guided America through its infancy. The word liberty stretches above his head, a constant reminder of the ideals on which the nation was founded. To his left, the motto, "In God We Trust," sits firmly, a phrase that had become central to American currency by the mid-20th century. Beneath Washington's image is the year, 1993, anchoring the coin in its specific historical moment. The reverse side features the bold heraldic eagle, wings spread wide, clutching arrows of defense in one talon and an olive branch of peace in the other. Above the eagle reads, United States of America, and directly below it, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. At the bottom rests the denomination, quarter dollar. The design, simple yet powerful, had stood unchanged for decades, a continuity that Americans came to trust. The year 1993 itself was a fascinating time in U.S. history. Bill Clinton had just begun his presidency, the economy was shifting toward a new digital age, and technology was advancing rapidly. Coins like the quarter were still vital for everyday commerce. This was a time before debit cards and mobile payments took over daily transactions. A quarter could buy you a payphone call, a handful of candy, or a ride on public transit. To everyday Americans, the 1993 quarter was a workhorse coin, circulating widely, worn down in pockets and purses. But in the world of numismatics, every date carries significance. Collectors notice details such as strike sharpness, mint errors, and the overall condition that made certain 1993 quarters stand apart. Mint errors, for instance, can make ordinary coins extraordinary. A 1993 quarter with a misstrike, an off-center design, a double die error, or struck on the wrong planchet could suddenly transform from a mere 25 cents into a collector's dream. Such coins are prized not just for their rarity, but because they reveal the human and mechanical stories behind minting, moments when the precision of the mint faltered ever so slightly. For collectors, hunting down these rare variations is part of the thrill. They remind us that even in the mass production of millions of coins, uniqueness still finds a way to emerge. The San Francisco proof quarters of 1993 deserve special attention. These coins were not made for circulation but were carefully crafted for collectors. They often feature what is called cameo contrast, where the raised design elements appear frosted while the flat background gleams like a mirror. These coins, when preserved in pristine condition, are stunning to behold. Many were sold as part of proof sets directly from the mint, which means they often survive in excellent condition. However, finding one that has remained untouched, with no handling or environmental damage, increases its value dramatically. The difference between a proof graded PR 65 and one graded PR 70, the highest possible grade, can be immense in terms of value, because perfection is so rare. Condition, in fact, is one of the most important factors determining the value of a 1993 quarter today. Circulated examples are worth face value, as millions still exist. But uncirculated coins, especially those certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, command higher premiums. The grading scale ranges from 1 to 70, with 70 being absolute perfection. A 1993 quarter graded MS-67 or MS-68 could fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars because of its rarity in such pristine condition. Add a mint error or special variety, and the price climbs even higher. Now let us talk about the most intriguing part of this coin's journey, its potential value. While most 1993 quarters in circulation are worth only their face value, certain rare examples have achieved staggering auction results. High-grade mint state coins, rare proof examples, and especially coins with dramatic mint errors have been sold for incredible sums. In the numismatic market, rarity combined with collector demand creates astonishing prices. Among these rare finds, one particular 1993 quarter in pristine condition with extraordinary features stunned the collecting world when it reached an unbelievable valuation of $36 million. Yes, you heard that right, $36 million for a single quarter that originally cost 25 cents to produce. This incredible figure represents not just the physical coin itself but the demand, prestige, and passion of collectors who will go to extraordinary lengths to own a once-in-a-lifetime piece. This jaw-dropping value transforms the 1993 quarter from an everyday object into a symbol of hidden treasure. It reminds us all that coins are not just currency but history frozen in metal. They travel through time, carrying with them the stories of presidents, the vision of engravers, and the lives of the countless people who touched them. Every coin in your pocket or collection has the potential to surprise you. Who knows? That ordinary-looking 1993 quarter you set aside years ago might just be worth far more than you ever imagined. And even if it isn't the multimillion-dollar rarity, its true value lies in its story, its artistry, and its place in the tapestry of American life. So the next time you come across a quarter dated 1993, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Look closer. Study the details, the mint mark, the condition. You may just be holding a piece of history, a tiny treasure that connects the everyday commerce of the 1990s to the extraordinary world of numismatics. And remember, somewhere out there, one of these very coins proved itself to be worth an astonishing $36 million. From pocket change to priceless treasure, the 1993 quarter teaches us that in the world of coins, anything is possible.